Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to another one of my patrons, Alluvian Est-Endrati. Thanks for your continued support, Alluvian. That said, let's get started. Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 28. Now, last time we took out the Brigand 8-pounder, the 7th and second to last of the novice bosses in our current campaign. We'll be heading back to town shortly, but since we're still in pretty good condition, I thought we'd start off this episode by dousing our torches and collecting a little more loot. Don't worry, we'll try to make this quick.
Darkness closes in, haunting the hearts of men.
More blood than we can carry. That's a new one. Okay, well, given that almost all of our recruits are infected at this point, we're definitely not leaving that blood behind. We'll just dump our last shovel instead. Okay, let's keep moving. That's useful.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Well, I would like to grab those crests. Okay, let's eat the rest of our food. We're almost done here anyway. Sorry, I know it's not much fun watching me rearrange my inventory, but sometimes I just can't help myself. There's a grave. We could have used a shovel there. Obviously, Gwydden isn't our best choice for disarming these traps, but it's a good source of free stress heals. we're actually making pretty good time here. We'll grab this chest and then we'll double back to the loop. We'll probably avoid that last hall fight, though. I'm guessing it's just more vampires.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
We need all the heirlooms we can get. I'm just not sure what else we can drop at this point. I guess we can start dumping the rest of our supplies. Okay, just one more stop and we're done. Of course. I guess we all saw that coming.
The requirements of survival cannot be met on an empty stomach.
Well, that's not too bad. Let's make this quick. Nice. You know, aside from Purge getting infected, this really has been a good run.
Sedated. The blood pumps. The limbs obey. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Alright, let's redouse our torch and grab that last chest.
And now, the darkness holds dominion. Black as death. A handsome reward for a task well performed.
You know what? We're already here, and I hate to leave things unfinished. Let's push our luck. Oh, okay. It's just a few more bandits. Honestly, I was really expecting something a bit more horrible.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten. Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Okay, we're officially out of inventory space, so I think we're done here. Well, we definitely could have come back with more gold, but I think we made up for it with the heirlooms. We also got this unique trinket, the Ethereal Crucifix. Like a lot of the other new trinkets, it's definitely interesting. I'm just not sure it's worth the side effects. We also got a couple of level ups, and we did get a few quirks, but nothing worth mentioning. Alright, let's head back. After facing off against cultists, monsters, and literal nightmares, contending with bandits was almost laughably easy. Within the span of just 2 short days, Dame Adriana and the others had laid waste to the bulk of the bandit army and shattered their siege engine. The few survivors of our assault had scattered to the winds, desperate to escape our wrath. In the aftermath, Wojtek had carefully scoured the battlefield, gathering spoils and collecting heads. Afterwards, he warned me that the bandit leader, a man named Wolf, was not among the dead. There was a chance that, given enough time, the villain would try to raise another army, but for now at least, the roads and the surrounding wilderness were markedly safer with his absence. This had a rather quick and dramatic effect on the hamlet's population, as word of our victory spread to the surrounding regions. Many of these new arrivals were aspiring heroes and opportunistic mercenaries, but the wagons were also filled with farmers and settlers. Although many of them had heard unsavory rumors about the estate, they were nonetheless eager to take advantage of the newly secured wilderness surrounding the hamlet. I'll admit, that was not something I had prepared for. Running the hamlet was one thing, but running an entire fiefdom was something else entirely. Still, it was an appealing notion, and it was another opportunity that I feared I couldn't afford to pass up. That's not to say that I was completely blind to the risks. With the Crimson Curse running rampant through our ranks, I swiftly established new rules and guidelines intended to prevent the infected from interacting with our new arrivals. The cursed were to temporarily be confined to the sanitarium, at least until a cure could be discovered, with exceptions made for those who were on official business. It also seemed important to maintain the illusion of both safety and respectability around the hamlet. I temporarily shut down some of the more deviant businesses that had sprung up over the past few months, and made a show of sending out armed patrols to keep the worst of the monsters at bay. The last of my uninfected recruits were stationed on street corners or paraded around in public, decked out with shiny new armor and expensive new weaponry. It was a farce, of course, but one that I had convinced myself was necessary. As for the infected among us, they rapidly grew stir-crazy due to their forced confinement. They were often the first to volunteer for even the most dangerous assignments, just for the chance to get some fresh air. The research staff had also begun to suffer, as the crowded conditions and the constant exposure to the infection led to a growing number of incidents. Of course, none of that really mattered in the end. But I suppose I'm getting ahead of myself.
These salt-soaked caverns are teeming with pelagic nightmares. They must be flushed out.
And we're back. We've got about 15 minutes left on the clock, so I thought we'd round things out with a short Cove run. That way, we can work towards unlocking another boss while simultaneously leveling up some of our newer recruits. Oh, but before we go too far, I should really hand out blood to anyone who needs it. I always forget about that.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Alright, we've got a random encounter ahead, so we need to be careful. Oof. That's a rough fight for a bunch of rookies, but let's see what we can do here. Unfortunate. And, of course, they're going right for Lurkus. He's the most fragile person in the party. Gross. Well, at least most of us don't have to worry about being infected. That does actually make this a lot less stressful.
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, well, the stress damage is unfortunate, but we should be fine.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Yeah, I think we've got this. Whoops. Okay, let's finish this.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Well, that was a bit tougher than I would have liked, but we made it through.
Such a burden of finery risks life and limb.
We've still got some pretty nasty bleeding damage on Lurkus and Moody, so let's go ahead and use up our bandages. There we go. Moving on.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Alright, we've got another fight right ahead of us, so let's make sure everyone's ready. Okay, let's get in there. Ugh, even more vampires. At least we got surprised this time.
A powerful blow. Obliterated.
Well, that certainly worked out for us. Alright, let's keep it up.
Well struck. A death by inches.
Uh-oh. Nice. Now we can take out that sycophant. Actually, the sycophant's already taken an action, so let's focus on the supplicant first.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. As victories mount, so too will resistance. If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
That's 2 fights under our belt, and we're still in pretty good shape. I mean, Henry's about to go crazy, but that's actually not a bad thing for flagellants. Okay, just 4 more rooms to go. I really wish they'd make the hunger mechanics a little less abstract, but it is what it is. Okay, I guess we need to hand out blood, too.
Watch your step.
There we go. I haven't really had much of a chance to experiment with the Rapturous Affliction, but it worked out pretty well for us last time. Hey, something other than vampires. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can handle vampires. It's just nice to have some variety every once in a while. Crazy Henry could probably use some healing, but as a flagellant, I should probably just let him do it himself.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Nice dodge. Okay, well, I was hoping Henry would fire off a heal, but he hasn't taken quite enough damage for it yet. That's fine. We'll just wrap this up.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade. The ground quakes. This expedition at least promises success.
Well, I'm already carrying one journal page, so I can't really justify making room for two. Okay, we're done. I think we're actually in good enough condition to finish the dungeon, but we'll keep our torches lit.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I hate leaving all these trinkets behind, but we just never end up using most of them. Okay, we've got a hall fight ahead. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, this should be easy. Okay, well, now it's a little harder. Thank you, Henry.
Be gone, fiend.
You know, running a party full of vampires isn't actually that hard. It's just the stress damage you have to worry about.
Impressive.
Nice hit, Lurkus. Crazy Henry's primed for a healing spell. Now the trick is seeing if he'll actually cast one.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I could actually finish the fight at this point, but I really want to see what Henry will do. Hey, there you go. That's much more practical than whipping your allies in the face. Alright, now we can finish it.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Well, since we're already done, now I can justify taking more journal pages. It's a good day. Oh, and even better, we've got a coral formation ahead. Let's see here. Okay, let's get rid of Rook's Lygophobia. Nice. There's another fight ahead of us. And of course it's vampires. Why wouldn't it be?
Precision and power.
Whoops. Okay, let's not do that. We've already got 3 vampires in the party. We really don't need 4.
Annihilated.
Thank you for that, Henry. Thanks.
trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
You know, it's interesting. Just like the Shieldbreaker, the Flagellant is a really powerful class, but they really make you pay for it.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, just one... Come on. Sorry, no, it's fine. We just need to kill these guys, and then we're done.
A decisive pummeling.
This might actually not be the last fight, so let's get some healing in while we can.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
We're right down the hall from the last room, so I think we can dump the food now.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
Okay, we're done. Good work, guys. You know, vampires aside, this was actually a pretty good run.
At last, wholesome marine life can flourish. If indeed there is such a thing.
Yeah, that's really not bad. A decent amount of gold, a decent amount of heirlooms, and a trinket we might actually use. Well, I guess Commissar Moody's an egomaniac again. He literally just got rid of that quirk, but I guess old habits are hard to break. Anyway, we'll pick up here next time as we finally get to something I think a lot of you have been waiting for. It's finally time to pay the Baron a little visit. See you then.